Ever feel like the government is that one friend who always asks for a bite of your sandwich, but then ends up eating half the lunch you worked all morning to pack? We've all been there. But what if I told you that most of what you've heard about taxes, the stress, the math, the "I'm going to jail if I misplace a receipt" fear, is actually kind of a myth? Imagine if you could keep more of your own money just by knowing a few simple moves that nobody bothered to teach us in high school. Today, I'm going to break it down like we're just hanging out, because honestly, once you see how the gears turn, you'll realize that staying on the right side of the tax office is way easier than you think. You know, it's wild to me that we spend years learning about isosceles triangles and the powerhouse of the cell, but then we get our first job, we're just thrown into the deep end with taxes. I remember getting my first paycheck and thinking, wait, who is this tax person and why are they taking my gas money? It feels like this big, scary secret. But let's be real. Unless you're running a massive international corporation with headquarters on a tropical island where you're claiming local wildlife as your employees, your taxes are probably going to be pretty straightforward. Think of it this way. Taxes are basically just the subscription fee for living in a country. We pay for the roads, the libraries, and all that stuff. The billing cycle runs all over the year. Now, if you're just mowing a few lawns or helping a neighbor's kid with their homework for $20 here and there, the government usually isn't going to come knocking. But once you have a regular gig, things change a bit, but in a way that actually makes your life easier. If you have a real job, your boss is basically acting like your personal assistant for taxes. Every time you get paid, they take a little slice off the top and send it straight to the government for you. So, if you're supposed to make $50,000 a year and they figure your tax rate is around 30%, they just keep that $15,000 and send it off. By the time the end of the financial year rolls around, you've already paid most, if not all, of what you owe. You don't have to sit there with a piggy bank every month hoping you saved enough. You'll probably start seeing those envelopes in the mail that look super official, or maybe in your email inbox. They'll literally have important tax information printed on them in big letters. Usually, it's a form. All you have to do is keep those messages in a safe spot. Don't lose them. Stick them in a drawer or scan them into your computer. Later on, when you can't watch a single video on YouTube without seeing an ad for a tax app, that's your signal to actually file your tax return. Don't let the name confuse you. It's just a report card you send to the government saying, "Here's what I made, and here's why I should get to keep more of it." This is where deductions come in. Think of deductions like coupons for your taxes. The government says, "Hey, if you spent money on doctor visits or work stuff, we won't count that part of your income." So even if you earned $50,000, if you have $15,000 in coupons or deductions, the government acts like you only earned $35,000. And the best part? Even if you don't have receipts for specific stuff, the government gives everyone a standard deduction. It's like a big automatic discount just for existing. For most of us, that's the way to go. I'm honestly so hyped you're still here with me. If you've stuck around this long, it's because you really care about getting this right, and that's the best way to be. I've got a few more secrets to share that are going to make the what to do next part so much clearer. You're definitely going to want to see this through to the end. Subscribe now before I continue. The cool thing is, you don't even have to do the math yourself. There are lots of websites online, which the tax office actually points people toward, that are free or super cheap. You just type in the numbers from those forms you saved, answer some questions that feel like a personality quiz, and the website does the rest. It compares what you should have paid with what your boss already sent in. If you paid too much, The government sends you a refund check. It's like finding a $20 bill in your winter coat, but usually with a few more zeros. If you didn't pay quite enough, you just send them the difference. Now, I know what you're thinking. What if I mess up? Seriously, don't sweat it. If you make an honest mistake, the tax office doesn't just show up at your door with handcuffs. Usually, they just send you a very polite, very boring letter saying, "Hey, we think the math is off. You actually owe us an extra $50. You pay it, and life goes on. If you really want to be savvy, there are ways to lower that bill legally throughout the year. If your job offers something like an extra form, that's basically a savings account for when you're older. The money you put in there doesn't get taxed right now, which is awesome. It's like hiding your snacks so you don't have to share them yet. Another big secret the wealthy people use is long-term investing. If you buy a stock or some crypto and hold on to it for more than a year before selling, the government hits you with a much lower tax rate. Sometimes, if you don't make a ton of money, that tax rate is actually 0%. And for my friends out there starting a side hustle, maybe you're doing photography or cleaning houses or running a YouTube channel, any money you spend to make your business better can be written off. If you make $5,000 but spend that same $5,000 on a professional camera or a high-end vacuum, your profit is zero. On paper, you didn't make a profit, so you don't pay tax on it, but you still have that awesome new gear to help you make more money next year. You might wonder why the system is set up this way. It feels like they want it to be confusing so companies can sell you software, and yeah, that's a small part of it. But the bigger reason is that the government uses tax laws like a carrot and a stick. They want to encourage us to do certain things. Want people to use clean energy? Give them a tax break for solar panels. Want people to buy houses? Make homeownership tax-friendly. At the end of the day, taxes aren't a monster under the bed. They're just a process. Use the free tools, keep your forms and receipts in one place, and don't be afraid to Google things if you get stuck. You've got this. And honestly, once you do it once, you'll realize it's just another adulting task you can totally handle. Keep your head up, keep your receipts, and let's keep more of that hard-earned money in your pocket. Before you go, ask for advice from an accountant if you are not sure about your tax stuff, because I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing my experience here with simple words. I should tell you that earlier.